Hi everyone, it's Casey. Last week we talked about speed development for sports performance, and this week we're going to talk about power development. So we're going to start off by talking about some different aspects of power development that can affect your athletes. We're going to talk about the stretch shortening cycle and activation potentials. Then we're going to talk about how to build a program for power development in your athletes, and then we're going to finish off with some practical applications and different drills that you can work on to help build that power in your athletes. We're going to get started with some of the mechanics and physiology of power development. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the stretch shortening cycle. This cycle combines mechanical and neurophysiological mechanisms. So we're just going to give a basic overview of this cycle today. So for our purposes, it's going to be a stretch reflex. When the muscle spindles are stimulated, there's a stretch reflex which produces a subsequent concentric muscle action. So that reflex can be trained to increase the force produced during this cycle. The next aspect of power development that we're going to discuss is concurrent activation potential. So basically, this theory states that stronger muscle contractions occur when the muscles activate at the same time. So in the study listed below, it was found that clenching the jaw can increase the force produced in a counter movement jump. The next aspect of power development that we're going to discuss is another activation potential. So this one is called post-activation potential. It's basically a theory which states that the force exerted by a muscle can be increased based off of a previous contraction. The study below goes into a little bit more detail about how this theory can be used to improve power performance in your athletes. Next, we're going to talk about developing a program that incorporates power training to better increase power development in your athletes. Research studies have shown that incorporating cluster sets into your program can help with developing power in your athletes. Cluster sets should be incorporated when your aim is to increase the total volume load and total work within a session. Another great tool for developing power in your athletes is incorporating plyometric exercises into your program. When incorporating plyometric exercises into your program, it's important to include them in addition to resistance training. When incorporating plyometric exercises into your program, it's important to understand the structure of a plyometric training program. So for lower body drills, volume is going to be expressed as foot contacts per workout. For upper body drills, it's going to be expressed as the number of throws or catches per workout. When performing plyometric exercises, proper form and landing positions are very important. So it's always good to make sure that your athletes are supervised throughout the entire exercise to ensure that they don't lose their form as they fatigue. This will help prevent injuries in your athletes. Further injury prevention can be incorporated into your plyometric training program through a thorough and proper warm-up and stretch before getting started. Overtraining injuries can also be prevented by incorporating proper rest in between sets and recovery times of 2 to 3 days in between plyometric exercises. Lastly, I want to talk about the practical applications of power development in your athletes. A needs analysis for the specific sport that an athlete is training should be performed prior to development of a power development training program. Many sports utilize both upper and lower body power, but some may focus on one more than the other. So it's important to understand the needs of your athlete before incorporating these drills into your training program. The last thing I want to do is leave you with a few demonstrations of good plyometric exercises for both upper and lower body to help with the power development of your athletes. A few other great power development lower body exercises include long jumps, depth jumps, bounding, and lateral jumps. Upper body power development should also include medicine ball, throws, and catches. These are very important for upper body power development. I hope you learned some good information about the mechanics and physiology of power development. I also hope you learned some good drills that you can incorporate into your training program to help develop power in your athletes. If you're looking for some more in-depth or detailed information, please see the research articles listed at the conclusion of this video. Thanks for watching.